Welcome to today's collective reading. This is Trinity Gaia Oracle, also known as Trinity Gaia Consciousness. I'm going to open with some resonance here. Got my cat playing with the crystal right now. He got very curious. So I picked one and he's over there having fun. He may come and visit us during the reading. Okay, I had quite the download coming into this reading today, guys. Divine has been working with me on it quite in depth. I got some power animal cards already ready, but I will begin with the angel numbers that came through and the deep dive that the divine kind of brought me through with these numbers. So the first one, this one was purely by divine. It's got a little bit more of a sync with timing, and that is 313. So this one is specifically, the overarching theme of it is open heart and loving kindness. The Queen of Sheba may be a sync here. Exactly sure why. Maybe she exemplified these qualities. The element is fire, planet is Jupiter, and the archangel is Raguel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And in this reference that I was drawn to, the phrase attached with the archangel Raguel is God's friend. So you may feel like you're closer to the divine, closer in relationship, friendship, dynamic. There's a triangle, trinity, triad, harmony, peace, meaningness, meaningfulness, purpose, will and grace, Empress energy. And this is for 3. Now 1 is like the magician, and that's right in the middle. So this is truth, sincerity, freedom. Maybe you've been praying for freedom. You have a lot of expansion and abundance, especially with the Empress. It's like 3, 2, 1, launch. Launch. Like the countdown for when we would send shuttles into space, when it was like a planet-wide event at that point. In the domain of what you desire, what brings you enjoyment, pleasure, a little bit of an impulsiveness to that element as well. And there was a specific aspect within this reference that I was called to read, so I will share that here because it's just beautiful. From the beginning of time, you were shown how the physical universe is a most beautiful but still pale replica of the endless universe of true beauty within the human soul. This may resonate if your life path is more in sync with number 3. Now for 1, which this is the magician energy, sandwiched by a 3 on either side. So this is manifest. Unity and mastery. And just like with 3, with the Queen of Sheba, this part was the Messiah. So this could be Christ-like consciousness. Fire, the sun, this is Archangel Metatron, which is known as the Archangel of the Covenant. Unity, the monad, the infinite point. Teacher of righteousness, the instrument of truth. Seed, essence, matrix. Wisdom, will to wisdom. Whereas with 3, it was will to grace. So you have will to wisdom and grace. The beginning, the origin. The power through self-control, the messenger. Protection and goodness. Primordial force, the masculine principle. A fire that burns but does not destroy. The quote for this part, from this reference: "You were among the chosen who stood on top of Mount Carmel, even before it was manifested in the physical world. You saw how everything on earth was created in accordance with the etheric matrix of truth, love, and compassion, provided by the heavenly source of all being. You are forever carrying this knowledge of creation within you." And then 616 was also an angel number that came through. So we have magician energy, what I just addressed there. And right in between that, you have 6, which is in the tarot, the Lovers. Completion and transformation, the bridal chamber. This is the first element of water. The planet will be for Venus. The archangel is Raphael, the angel of healing. This may have specific emphasis to you. There was another completely, seemingly unrelated reinforcement of this archangel being present in a rather surprising way, I might add. The hexagon piece, the one who joins two separates together, love and compassion. That has been consistent so far. That was also part of 313. Eros, or Cupid. Kundalini awakening, Samhati, the serpent. Harmony and opposition. The merging of the masculine and the feminine. The archetype of service. The form of forms. The cosmos, all healing, and the whole. The Star of David may also be a very prominent symbol in this moment. This is wisdom to compassion. So we have will to grace and wisdom. And now we have from wisdom to compassion. This is magnetic attraction. Introverted, but sociable. The romantic. And another highlight of that archetype of service. The quote for this aspect here is, "You know how the joining of separate forces can only happen through the alchemy of love and compassion on all levels. There can never be any truth without love. Everything but love is an illusion." And the mantra for the angel numbers is, "I am love." Now we have Archangel Metatron, we have Archangel Raguel, and Raphael now. So I'm going to make sure that they get their appearance here from the tarot as well. But I wanted to go into the power of the Kingfisher, which is really interesting how this came to me. This came to me in a dream, and it did not have the physical form of a kingfisher. This is really interesting. So I do have an image of the kingfisher here. This is just a from the that's upside down. From the Animal Spirit Knowledge cards. So the kingfisher, if you just search for kingfisher images, they're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, the pictures that I've seen, my favorite are probably when they're underwater and they look like they're flying in water. And then there was one where you could see the reflection in the water of the kingfisher just as its beak touched the water. So it had a reflection which was a sync with as above, so below. And the water being that medium, the intuition, the knowing. It's very powerful. And there is a synchronicity with the crow and phoenix energy as well. And that's because of the story of the kingfisher, which there is a Greek mythology story, and going to make sure I pronounce their names correctly here. Probably not. Haisawu. Okay. I'm not. I don't want to butcher their names. But I will bring that up close and maybe you guys can catch a shot of their names there. I don't want to disrespect them by butchering their names because I probably will. But their story, it reminded me a lot of the movie The Perfect Storm, except for when movie spoiler here. If you don't want to know this, then skip ahead a little bit. I'll wave my hand when it's safe to resume, okay, if you don't want to know. But if you are fine with that, with knowing, here we go. He actually ends up dying at sea. And there was such an abundance, and like it was just, he was so excited to get home, and he ends up dying. And like he had a woman that he was in love with, and they had committed to a life together, and she was building that and creating that space. She was nesting really in an apartment they were going to share. And in the Greek mythology, she ended up giving herself to the ocean. And this moved the gods so much that they turned both of them into kingfishers. And the interesting thing about kingfishers, because a lot of birds, and really any animals in nature, the male is far more brilliantly colored and decorated. The feminine is typically a little more subdued. However, that is not the case with the kingfisher. And that is a synchronicity with the story because it was her love for him that moved them. So they made her love, her plumage more vibrant. They're just beautiful creatures. There's also a story about Noah's Ark, like a legend that when the kingfisher, which was originally just a dull gray, was released from the ark, that it flew up into the blue sky close to the sun, and the closer it got to the sun, it heated the kingfisher's feathers and brought in new color, new life, which is where Source immediately brought me, Divine, who immediately brought me to the crow. Because I want to make sure I get this correct. The Sioux have a story about how the crow was originally white. And the crow let the buffalo know that the hunters were getting close, like tipped them off. And this apparently kept happening. And the Sioux, like, they realized what was going on. So they caught the crow and they threw the crow into the fire. And the fire changed the crow's feathers from white to black. And both of them with that heat, the sun, the fire, Phoenix energy, Phoenix fire energy is specifically mentioned here in the specific card here. It's, so you can spot it, Phoenix right there. Arising from the ashes, the alchemy, the changed form, the fire in this aspect. It just like the sun in the tarot represents the happiness, the joy, with where the divine brought me with, kind of breaking down the angel numbers. That alchemy, that fire, that changing is love. That's where it occurs. So with all of that, we have set the stage. Let's see what the divine would like to have come through for us here today. Ooh, let me get those angel numbers for us, or those angel cards first here. So, this is the Doreen Virtue deck. Just like, such a powerful image there. Okay, so I'm going to grab them here just because, they have like specific messages for you guys to be coming through as they did. And I want to make sure that they get to speak. They get their space. Ooh, got a couple from Vaguel. Got another Raphael. I haven't done this before, so this is kind of interesting to see how many they have in here of each one. How many she was drawn to. Okay. So far we got 3, 3, and 2. Oh, there we go. 3, 3, and 3. I think we're pretty good then. Yep. Okay. So she may have tried to, this is a deck by Doreen Virtue. She may have tried to do like the synchronicity or the number, the numerology of 3, Trinity for each archangel. So, the first one that comes through here for Metatron is chakra clearing. Call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. Indigo and crystal children. You have a bond with children in particular. You can help children who are sensitive. So I just watched a documentary talking about children who don't speak, but they write really rapidly and they are telepathic with one another. Then we have prioritize. So that may be a synchronicity for you. You may be able to communicate with these children. Archangel Metatron, prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. There's a very clear indication of to receive. That brilliant purple, it's very intuitive. So first, second, third, okay. So we have divine order, the balancing of the scales. They're not really in balance depending on your perspective. If you're right in front of this angel, they may appear to be perfectly balanced. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. There is that illusion. Love is the only thing that is true. Anything else that, feels of fear or anxiety or doubt or causes you to question, like brings you into a state of confusion, it's illusion. Anchor back into that love. See the underlying order. That is talking about how you were there at the beginning with the truth, the compassion, the love, that being the building of this universe at the beginning. Then we have relationship harmony. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Clairsentience. It's like torch. Energy, okay. There's something to the torch, and that may come out in the pointing up. Pointing up like divine fire, divine light. Fire of love. Alchemy, love. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. They wanted me to say significance instead of signify. Significant divine guidance, I guess, guys. It's significant. Pay attention to how you feel in your body and how emotions feel in your body. Our bodies are basically like antennae. We're receivers. The more attuned we become, the more sensitive we become, the more information that we can discern from those subtle changes. So Raphael here. Take several deep breaths, then exhale slowly to awaken your energy and to release old patterns. Your soul is able to, like your higher self, that wisdom can occupy your space, your physical being more when you are in tune with your breath. It's kind of like turning up the power on the receiver, which we are. If we're like comparing us to like radio transmitters and receivers. And then we have angel therapy, and that makes sense with, Raphael being the healer. Give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. So whatever may be taxing you in that moment, just be like, you know what, it would be great if you could help me with this, and if you could give me a sign letting me know, a sync, you can definitely ask for that. And as that happens, you'll begin to, yet again, that torch, but there's also like holding this globe. I get like hope from this. Also, mandala, mathematical, tying back into Metatron. And then healthy lifestyle. Eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regular for optimal health. Okay, this can sound like hey, here's some orders. If you haven't been doing this, do this. No, this is like, this may be something that has been challenging as you've been going through this ascension. You can see like the implication of the kundalini, the chakras, the ascending power. As you're going through that and it's integrating into your body, I mean, it's kind of when you first start working out, your sleep pattern is going to shift. It is. It's going to disrupt your sleep cycle. So this is going to begin to stabilize. And if it does kind of have a bit of a rocking of the boat for a little bit, there's something new coming in that's integrating, that's elevating your energy, helping to heal you. So we have, the angel of the covenant. So this is like a promise between the divine and humanity. We have, I believe this is the God's friend. What did I say? The divine friend, the angel of divine friendship. And then we have, the angel of healing here. So I want them to be represented here for you guys. Since Lenny is over here laying at my right side and not where I typically have him, I'll set these up there on the bed. Or the blanket. Okay, so let's pull in some some cards here. See, if there's some more specific information for you guys here. Something that a recent reader I revisited, I haven't watched him in a while, something he said that I think resonates is as you go through a reading, people will kind of, they'll get pulled away because they have errands, or they'll, like the kids will be like, hey, or maybe they're at work. Whatever it may be, as the reading continues, typically the amount of people watching goes down. So as the reading progresses, it gets more and more specific, more and more detailed, because there's less and less energies that are co-creating in that space, that are seeking guidance, seeking synchronicities. I do want to mention, just because it may have been noticed by some of you guys here in the recent few days, that I'm not actually lighting this candle anymore. It puts out a residue in the space that, if I had like my own place with a, 3-season porch or something, I would probably be fine with it. But I don't have access to that, so I'll do sound clearing at the beginning of the reading. I'll do that. The divine knows. The divine is here. The divine is present. A flame, a candle will not stand between the divine and reaching you. That's for sure. Okay, well, why did you have me pull this deck? Come on now, there's got to be a card in here for these guys. You just want me to do the ASMR? Kind of like the fidget, keeping the hands busy while I channel? Okay, Source, if we don't have something come through here soon, I'm going to think that you maybe don't want this deck yet. Okay, there we go. See, it's got to talk. Ooh. Oh, that image is so powerful. It's masculine, feminine, unity, which resonates with this reading so far. Number 34, 3-4, ascension. Intimacy, shadow, beyond fear to connection. The fire that burns but does not destroy. And this is the part of you that you've been trying to avoid. This is the shadow. This is the shadow aspect of soul. This is what that part of you wants you to know, wants you to look at. That, yes, there may be passion, it may be intense, it may feel like a burning, an alchemy happening because of the love, the light present here, but it won't destroy. It's going to create new, it's going to build new. Okay, that one. Oh, divine animals. Number 22. Yeah, that lion there, that crystalline, that diamond heart. Diamonds only form under incredible pressure, and you have so much light coming through that heart space. The specific resonance with divine animals, feline in particular. And this is a lion, so this is masculine. It's not a lioness. This is the aspect that defends, that protects. It's like the gladiator, right? You have a lion-hearted, fierce. The light aspect to your soul wants to highlight that this is something that you have overcome so much adversity to this point, that pressure. If there is any kind of a resistance within you, like, oh, I don't know, maybe I will, like, maybe it will hurt, you know, like with this, the burning but not destroying. This is what you've been working for. It's a mirroring. This is what you've been working for. And this 3-4, it breaks to a 7, which is a divine number. Okay, there it is. Okay, I'm over there. I'm like, where is it? Oh, that's not what I thought it was. I don't think so. Maybe it is. In which case, I'm not going to do a full one of the card readings here, just because, like, that reading was so deep and so detailed and so freeing and so healing, but it took quite some time here. We're going to just pull 2 here. We're going to do the Shadow Whisper reading. So, a part of you in this space is wanting control, which implies that you feel that you don't have control, you need control, you feel possibly overwhelmed, and you're wanting some anchor. So, what part of you wants control here? This is like immediately, it's just going right into whatever resistance you may have to this connection, to move beyond that fear. There's definitely going to be likely synchronicities with Mother Nature, Avian and Lyran. Wow, acrobatic. Okay. Guiltless. Forgive the version of you that didn't know better. You weren't broken. You were becoming. This is the part of you right now that wants control. Like, there may be some aspects here that you feel guilty of, and you're wanting to, like, absolve yourself of it somehow, but you're also in this space. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be authentic with yourself before you can involve any other energies that you could interact with. So, you're wanting to see yourself clearly. Like, how did you move in that way? And why did you move? What factors brought that into play? Because there are many other butterflies in this background, but you're really focused in framing this particular butterfly, and it's blue, so this is going to speak to literally your voice, your speech. And this kingfisher here in this particular image is very blue. So there's communication, inspired communication. Star, white hole. Ooh, wow, that's powerful. You might think I would go moon here, but no, like, this was, a white hole occurs, and in my understanding may be incorrect, but a black hole can turn into a white hole where it begins to shoot out matter at such a rate that it becomes light. I don't know the science of it. I could be completely wrong. Either way, that's what is being, kind of guarded through me. Ooh, there is more information there for you guys in that, and it'll be unique to each of you. Okay, that came out quick. For the second part here, we have the part of you that needs compassion, not for sale. Ooh, powerful here. Your priorities are clear. Your values are non-negotiable. Authenticity may not always pay, but it always aligns. A phrase that really struck me earlier today, especially in this experience here, diving deep into this material, is that people can go through life and they're like, okay, well, in order to belong here, I need to be this kind of me for you. And I need to be that kind of me in order to belong here. Or this part of me doesn't get to hold space here. As long as I want to belong here, I can't be or own this part of myself. So this is powerful because it's a statement to yourself that, you know what, your desire to be who you are, not have to shapeshift your authenticity to conform to someone else's expectation. You're not willing to sell your authenticity to belong. And yeah, it may not always pay. You don't always get to belong to just any group or any community or have that person that you thought could become someone of, prominence in your life, because there's some aspect of you that they weren't comfortable with, whether it's because you needed healing or they needed healing. As a result of that communication, more than likely both sides. Because you were able to stand on the truth that you're not willing to shapeshift who you are to conform to anyone else's expectations. You are not interested in wearing a mask. But when everyone else is wearing masks, how do you move? They don't understand you. They assume that you're wearing a mask too. So it's figuring out how to move through the world from the beginning, like the first point where you realize that. Finding your way to, really what are your priorities and what values? Like, what are you looking for? What are you like? I'm not going to tolerate you wearing a mask with me here. I'm not going to accept that, because then you're going to accept or expect that I wear masks because I'm letting you wear a mask. You're going to expect that I wear one too. Yeah, it's like a reciprocal thing. And with the snake, this is like another synchronicity with ascension, with the Kundalini. Okay, they want me to grab one of these. Okay. Okay, so this is from the Neuro-Linguistic Programming cards for Mastering Your Reality. It kind of, wow, I have like so many competing energies here right now that are wanting to use my vocal cords. And they're getting a little crossed there. Oop, that one wanted to come out. Okay. So it's just kind of reframing things, using slightly different language, and it can kind of shift how you perceive or think or relate to something that has possibly been kind of a mental block. So we have taste the victory. Ooh, she's sniffing that wine. She's using all her senses to enjoy that wine. If you do not know or have not had someone teach you how to taste wine, the first thing you do is you kind of, in that glass, you kind of circle it a little bit, and that will bring out the smell a little bit more, and you sniff it first. A large part of taste is smell, and they call it sniffing the bouquet, like they're flowers. And then you taste, and you let it kind of swish around your mouth a little bit, all over the palate, all over the tongue, to really use all of that sensory information. Engage your senses to make success feel real. Wow. Engage your senses to make success feel real. There are aspects to this that are surprising, like that a large part of taste is smell. So that's interesting. Imagine achieving a goal. What does it look like, sound like, even taste like? The more sensory detail you add, the more real it becomes. Could be like a wine taster of manifestation. Instead of saying this, this has like notes of chocolates and like sounding all like refined, it could be this is like a splash of abundance and a bit of prosperity. my voice there, like the voice I'm doing. Oh goodness, I cracked myself up. There's a little bit of a playfulness to it, and she definitely has a bit of a smile there. Is there anything else you would like to have come out here from this deck for the collective tuning in still? As we go further in, yeah, it'll become more refined. Well-formed outcomes. Ooh, look at that chalice. Look at that trophy. Look at all those ferns. Initially, I thought feathers, but no, I think they're ferns. Could be very wrong with that. I'm not a plant person. My mom was, but I'm not. Unclear goals create hesitation, while a well-formed outcome is sensory rich. Ooh, another emphasis there. Positively stated, achievable, and measurable. Ask yourself, what exactly do I want, and how will I know when I've achieved it? That's a big one. How do you know when it's manifested? The clearer you target, the stronger your drive to retrieve it. To retrieve it, interesting. Instead of reach it, retrieve. Ooh. This is something that you feel you had and you have to go get, or you let it go and you need to go grab it. Like a yo-yo or a boomerang. The thing with how do you know that you have achieved this goal? If it's a manifestation, you could be getting a lot of synchronicities, but how do you know it's officially here? Does it need to like reach out and pinch you? Does there need to be a conversation, some kind of interaction, correspondence, some kind of, and what is that exactly for you? You're the only one that knows what you're working on manifesting. You and the divine. Okay. So we'll do just a bit of tarot here, and then I'll bring the reading to a close. Do we have any specific, detailed information, last messages for the collective tuning in for this reading, this very transformational energy here? So we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, the desire line. So this is kind of I'm hearing weeding out the truth and the lies, the fantasy from the reality within what not only you have been seeking to manifest, but what is actually coming towards you. So sitting with the information before you react. Pause for a couple of seconds. Think about what has actually been said, been shared, what was just the actions, the movements, and then respond. Then maybe ask a question. And then we have the Knight of Cups here. Palmistry that indicates strength and vitality. Venus, maybe of specific synchronicity. There's something going on right now in astrology with Venus. That's not really, I'm not an expert in that area, so feel free to go down that, and if you discover anything interesting, feel free to share it in the comments. This is an offer of emotion, love, water, which with the Lovers card, that was the first element of water. The Lovers, that was number 6 in the angel cards, or the angel numbers that came through. We had 3 and 1, Magician and Empress. Magician and Empress. Okay. And we have the Ace of Swords, Wisdom, and the inverted. This to me is highlighting the sitting with the emotion for a pause, for a moment, like allowing yourself to not just react. You may have an emotion come at you, and yeah, it may be intense, but you don't want to say something harshly too soon and then regret, or, any of that. And right now, I believe like Venus is very like emotion and love and, intimacy, and it may be a little amplified. So having that pause, you can just kind of reassure yourself at the end of any interaction. Then you can have that peace of mind that you didn't just react. You were, modulating. You were making sure whatever you said or did was something you actually wanted to say or do. You were allowing that intensity to be kind of dialed down a bit, to get back to the actual wisdom, the truth, the wisdom, the love within you. We'll just do one more here. Woo! And then we have the Knight of Wands. Passion, movement forward, a sense of urgency. Things were not always greener on the side that maybe this energy chose. So that would be, you know how things go when you choose what's familiar and you want to break that pattern. So that's where that pause comes in. You don't want to just react, you want to respond. So 2 seconds, just 2 seconds before you respond. 1, 2, and in that moment, in that breath, if you're doing that, I think that you'll be quite surprised at the shift, the change, and the quality of communication that you end up having, because you're listening while they're speaking. And that pause, they feel heard. And it is like a language of respect, given that there's very, obviously amplified emotion in this space, intense emotion. So you guys may have some communication coming forward here. Yeah, and this truth, both of them are going within. So your discernment in those 2 seconds of pause, they're going to be instrumental in keeping the forward motion of these 2 Knights of Cups and Wand. So will and heart. All right. The archangels want to have one more come out for you guys that is of, inspired, kind of outside of the archangel numbers that were paired at the beginning. And we'll just close that here for this like overarching message. What archangel in specific would like to kind of come through with a final message, specifically to this aspect here as well? Ooh, I got 2. Okay, well, this one was face down. This one was upright. This is Archangel Michael. Whenever Archangel Michael comes out, you're safe. You are safe. You have the ultimate warrior at your back, okay? You're good. But in particular, this is highlighting to be clear about what you desire and to focus upon that with unwavering faith. So reiterating where is it? It's this one? No, it's this one. I had it right the first time. Your priorities are clear and your values are non-negotiable. So just be very clear with yourself. Hold yourself accountable to hold yourself to not allowing those things to be negotiated. And you have this energy here helping you do that. Letting you know that while you go through that space, you are guarded, you are safe, you can move from that confidence. And then what you didn't or don't see, or maybe don't necessarily want to, maybe you feel like you've been like going through this for so long, you're just like, I don't have any more patience. But just like with anything that you water and you nurture and you grow, it takes time. It takes attention to consistently weed the garden and make sure that all that effort goes to the plant, that you're You're really trying to grow. Archangel Jophiel, patience. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So your manifestation may have arrived. It may be here. You may be in the next, little while, because I don't want to put a limit on that. That's divine timing. That's not for me. But I sense that it's like you're going to get some kind of sync soon that lets you know, oh wow, it's actually here. Well, since it's actually here, it's actually beginning. It doesn't mean you stop tending to it. It means then that you're like, oh, look at that. It's just started to bud. I wonder how beautiful it will be when it fully blooms. So you still take care of that plant or that flower while it's going through that process. You still nurture it. It's like it's tempting to get lost in the beauty of the bloom or the bud as it's blooming. Like this visual of just someone just sitting there staring at it, like those time dilated videos where they show the full bloom that typically takes, I don't know, like a week or something, but it happens within like 2 minutes on your screen. But time is an illusion. So, like don't get lost in the time dilation. Still water, still pull the weeds, still put some fertilizer in there, make sure it has what it needs. And take care of you in this process. A lot of that is self-care. Keeping yourself on that routine with, allow Archangel Raphael to help you with that. Ask for help with that if it's something that, is a little more of a challenge for you. It's okay to ask for assistance with that. And that's where Metatron can come in. He specifically said, let us know what we can do here. And Raphael here as well. And everything in a divine order and divine timing, and the relationships that are surrounding this reading, they are coming into harmony. Divine's got that. Divine's got that. So we added Jophiel and Michael. All right. Very empowering reading. And allow Mother Nature, with this divine animals, allow Mother Nature to speak to you. So you have a diamond heart. All right. The divine within me sees and honors the divine love within you. Namaste.